Good evening. You are tuning in to AWANI Tonight with me, Cynthia Ng. Global Infrastructure Partners GIP has expressed its willingness to be a minority shareholder in Malaysia Airports Holdings Berhad (MAHB) and to hand over its shareholding within a short time frame. Speaking at a special chamber session in the Dewan Rakyat today, Second Finance Minister Datuk Sri Amir Hamzah Azizan says that GIP was selected from among hundreds of companies based on stringent criteria, including agreeing to appoint Malaysian citizens as MAHB Chairman and Managing Director.
Pendirian kita tegas dalam mempertahankan kepentingan pegangan dalam aset strategik negara. Dalam hal ini, hanya GIP dilihat menepati syarat yang ditetapkan, iaitu sedia untuk melabur, menjadi minoriti, menyumbang kepakaran dan melepaskan pegangan mereka dalam jangka masa yang singkat.
Amir said Khazanah Nasional Berhad and EPF had also carried out a detailed process for selecting a technical partner that was aligned with the goals to transform and improve the efficiency of the nation's airports. He believed GIP's expertise, experience and success in optimizing airport efficiency is needed to boost Malaysian airports' competitiveness and efficiency.
The Kuala Lumpur High Court has dismissed a bid by former Prime Minister Datuk Sri Najib Razak to serve his remaining prison sentence under house arrest. The decision came in response to a judicial review application filed by Najib on April 1st that said he had clear information that the former Yang di-Pertuan Agong had issued an addendum order allowing him to finish his corruption sentence under house arrest. Najib claimed the addendum was issued during a Pardons Board meeting chaired by Sultan Abdullah on January 29th, during which his 12-year jail sentence for corruption in the 1MDB scandal was cut in half and his fine was substantially reduced. Najib had sought for the court to compel the government to reply to or confirm the existence of the royal order, which he said would entitle him to serve the remainder of his term under house arrest and to execute the order if it existed. In a copy of the judgment released to media on Wednesday, the High Court found there was no arguable case warranting a full hearing of Najib's application. Judge Dato' Amarjit Singh ruled that all the affidavits claiming the existence of the royal addendum amounted to mere hearsay. Najib planned to appeal the decision, according to his lawyer Tan Sri Muhammad Shafi Abdullah. Najib was found guilty in 2020 of criminal breach of trust and abuse of power for illegally receiving funds misappropriated from 1MDB. The high cost of healthy foods is a major factor pushing Malaysians, especially lower-income families, to opt for unhealthy choices. This only makes the problem of malnutrition in our society worse. Khazanah Research Institute (KRI) recently released a discussion paper titled Unhealthy But Not by Choice: Food, Environment and Nutrition, which focuses on this issue. Now, to learn more about this report, let's hear from Hafiz Marzuki. Hafiz, what can you tell us about this report, about especially the state of nutrition and affordability of food in Malaysia?
Yes, Cynthia, before we delve further into the issue, we at Astro AWANI actually published a poll recently earlier this week. And the question we asked was, when it comes to eating healthily, what's your biggest challenge right now? Of course, 22.4% said they are limited by money, 11.24% said they are limited by time, and here, you can see right here, 53% said by both limited by money and time. And the worrying thing, Cynthia, is if you look here, I can eat healthily, the fourth choice, only 13.19%. What it means basically, 86 to 87% of us actually believe we can't eat healthy food, or we don't have the choice of eating healthy food. So of course, we spoke to KRI's associate researcher, Dr. Teo Aini, and this is what she has to say about the state of nutrition and food affordability in Malaysia.
We see that there is a rising rate of unhealthy food import over the past decades as compared to healthy food. This can be problematic because it may imply a growing availability of unhealthy food in our environment within our country. At the same time, we also see a shift in household consumption expenditure. At a household level, we observe that Malaysian households are increasingly consuming more and more food away from home, which is food prepared in restaurant, hotels, cafes, street food vendors, including that the food we order on food delivery platforms. And this could be an obstacle to healthy eating because this food that we usually purchase away from home are associated with high calorie intake, fat, sodium, and we are also more prone to overeating. Second, we look at food affordability, an important topic. When we look at the cost of healthy diet in Malaysia, it has been rising over the past few years.
Basically, these are all the public health concerns that were outlined by Dr. Teo. First is, of course, high fast food and sugary drink consumption. Basically, we can get high caloric food very easily, followed by unhealthy food advertising targeting children. And lastly, the rising costs and time constraints for healthy meals. And these are basically the concerns outlined, Cynthia.
Right. So, well, these are the areas that was outlined, but I actually do also want to find out that because the issues that you mentioned is not something that is unique to Malaysia. It's faced by many developing countries. So, but are there specific reasons why it's especially tough to get balanced and affordable meals here in Malaysia?
You're right about the challenges that are faced by a lot of countries. Basically, what we can show here are the challenges in Malaysia's food environment. We can summarize it up to 4 points. Right here, what we can see is, number one is, of course, easier access to junk food, as what was outlined earlier. The other thing is, of course, shortage of fruits and vegetables. What it means here is basically you can get fruits and vegetables, but it is at a very I would say less affordable price. And of course, the final 2 points are pretty much linked to each other, which is the eating out more, leading to unhealthy diets. And of course, this led to less healthy choices for people with limited money or time. So these are basically the challenges in the Malaysia's food environment. And the more important thing is, Cynthia, is what can we do to actually intervene and solve this problem? And in fact, Dr. Teo has actually outlined a couple of policy recommendations.
What we can do now, low-hanging fruits would be, at the moment, increased availability and accessibility of healthy food, such as through policies like zoning laws, by having more healthy options over the unhealthy options. And more importantly, at the same time, make sure that these healthy food choices are equally, if not more affordable than unhealthy food options through, for example, economic incentive. And at the same time, I also think we also have to make unhealthy options desirable. Desirable as in through consumer educations, perhaps with the use of food marketing advertising. If it delivers positive impact, it will become a good approach. So, and the most direct approach is actually to have food environment policies. And we are not short of them. We have existing food environment policies such as the SSP tax, Healthier Choice logo, guidelines on the prohibition of sales of food outside school perimeters, and fast food advertising guidelines. These policies, in my opinion, are good but needs to be strengthened to more adequately respond to the shift in our food environment, and also considering the nutrition inequality between, for example, income groups and ethnicities, occupation, and also education level. So we need also additional or more comprehensive package of food environment policies to address this rapid shift and emerging new trends in our food environment, such as the persuasive digital food marketing that is unregulated at the moment.
Basically, these are the summaries of Dr. Teo's policy recommendations. Number one, combine nutrition programs with food environment interventions. And of course, the second one is to strengthen existing programs like the Healthier Choice logo policy, which is already being run right now in Malaysia. And of course, lastly, address food marketing challenges. And in fact, here we at Astro AWANI thought it'll be interesting to take this a step further and run it through the AI program. As part of our Tanya AI initiative, we want to find out what is the next step and what can we do to improve this further. Let's hear.
We need to develop and enforce strict nutritional guidelines that promote the availability of fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and lean proteins. It's crucial that we also train canteen staff to prepare healthy meals. This way, we ensure everyone has access to nutritious options and the skills to make healthier choices. Other than that, we also should offer more options like low-fat dairy products, nuts, fruits, and whole grain snacks, while cutting back on sugary, salty, and high-fat foods. It's all about making healthier choices easier for everyone, and a healthier-themed vending machine can work better compared to the existing ones that we know. Consider coming up with reward programs to encourage employees or students to eat healthy. Offer workplace wellness programs that include nutrition counseling, healthy cooking demonstrations, and fitness activities. And finally, it goes without saying, regularly monitor and evaluate these programs to ensure their effectiveness.
We'll be back with more after the break.
Kau hari-hari pakai uniform, ada logo dekat dada kau. Ada Allah, ada Muhammad, kau tak malu ke?
Share. See dan stream on demand atau sila ke saluran 480.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan salam sejahtera kepada semua rakyat Malaysia. Saya percaya bahawa usaha pembudayaan hidup sihat adalah satu pelaburan jangka panjang dalam kesejahteraan masyarakat dan kelestarian negara kita. Dalam membantu hasrat kerajaan Malaysia Madani bagi melahirkan rakyat yang sihat, kementerian ini komited untuk bersama-sama menjayakan agenda nasional Malaysia Sihat dengan memastikan setiap pemain industri dan perusahaan sentiasa berada dalam keadaan sihat dan cergas, bijak menangani stres, tidak menghisap sama ada rokok atau vape, malah peka kepada kebersihan persekitaran. Ayuh, kita sama-sama mengamalkan dan semarakkan pembudayaan hidup sihat demi kesejahteraan rakyat Malaysia. Agenda Nasional Malaysia Sihat, sihat sepanjang hayat, Malaysia Madani.
Welcome back. The death toll from a stampede at a Hindu religious gathering in northern India has risen to 121, making it one of the deadliest such disasters in more than a decade. Authorities had given permission for about 80,000 people to gather, but around 250,000 people attended the event. Police said most of those who died or were injured in the incident were women. The chaos broke out at the end of the event as the main preacher was about to leave in his car. The police report said thousands of devotees ran towards his vehicle and began collecting dust from the path in an act of devotion. As crowds swelled, several of those sitting and squatting on the ground got crushed. The tragedy has sparked outrage in India and has led to questions about lapses in safety measures. China is far ahead of other countries in generative AI inventions. According to a recent report by the World Intellectual Property Organization, China has filed 6 times more patents than its closest rival, the United States.
The United Nations agency, which oversees a system for countries to share recognition of patents, noted that China had filed over 38,000 inventions between 2014 to 2023. In comparison, the US filed 6,276 patents during the same period. It said the Chinese patent applications span a broad area of sectors, from autonomous driving to document management. Leading applicants include China's ByteDance, owner of video app TikTok, Chinese e-commerce giant Alibaba Group, and Microsoft, a supporter of startup OpenAI, which created ChatGPT. Data also showed that South Korea, Japan, and India ranked 3rd, 4th, and 5th respectively, with India reporting the fastest growth rate. Generative AI produces text, images, computer code, and even music from existing information. More than 50,000 patent applications for generative AI were filed in the past decade, with a quarter of them filed in 2023 alone.
That wraps up AWANI Tonight. I'm Cynthia Ng. Thank you for watching. Good night.